Cody wanted me to come up here and teach you guys what I taught a brand new agent on how to go out to write $23,000 in APV, his first week out, over $50,000 with an average premium about $90 a month within his first 15 days. And right now he's sitting at over $70,000 24 days in, and his goal is to hit $100,000, and he's got $30,000 left in the next 6 days to do it. Now, how many think that's a pretty amazing story? And how many want to learn how to do that? Yes? All right. Before we do that, guys, I took notes. If you guys took notes, hold your hand, put it up in the air, right? Not your hand up. Put your notes in the air. I got pages and pages and pages and pages and pages of notes. This is called Breakthrough 2022, isn't it? They talked about a sudden, dramatic, important discovery or development. How many of you guys had a discovery about your business today from one of your speakers? Right? It said an instant of activity, of success in an activity, achieving success in an activity. How many learned tools on how to achieve success in an activity in your business today? A person's first notable success was talked about today, right? The act of overcoming an obstacle or a restriction. How many learned how to overcome obstacles or restrictions in your business today? See, a step, here's what my most important thing about a breakthrough is. It goes from the top of the top, a quantum leap, a huge discovery, but didn't happen overnight. When there's a breakthrough in science, how many years or decades that they spent before it happened and it clicked? But here's what I love. From the top of the top to this dramatic, sudden, discovery all the way down to a step in the right direction. A step in the right direction. All of you guys who have been hanging out here since 9 o'clock this morning, guess what you did? You had a breakthrough. You know why? Because every single one of you does what 97% of people aren't going to do. You invested time into yourself, and you took a step in the right direction. Give yourself a round of applause for having a breakthrough today. So I was fortunate. You guys got to hear from one of my mentors, Mr. Edward Pritchett. When I got involved in this business, I had zero experiences in insurance, right? I had incredible mentors like Matt Smith and Brad Smith. I know Brad's watching today. And I got involved, and I was willing to take my ego out of my back pocket and go, okay, show me what to do. Yeah, he made millions of dollars in credit card. Who cares? I'm not doing credit card processing. I'm doing insurance. I made millions of dollars in network marketing. Who cares? I'm not doing network marketing. I'm doing insurance. So I said, Edward, what do I do? Brad, Matt, what do I do? And when they told me what to do, imagine this. I did it. I didn't question it. I didn't say, why do this? I just did it. So when I wrote $15,000 my first week in the business, driving around to people's homes back in the day doing paper applications, I wasn't shocked or impressed with myself because I asked them, what's it going to do for me to do what people are doing in a month back then in a week? And they told me, and I just did it. So when I called through 70 bonus leads and I only got 3 appointments, I reached up to Edward and I reached up to Matt and Brad and said, hey, what am I doing wrong? And they told me, you talk too fast. Slow down. I'm like, is this better? I mean, this is a lot slower for me. Is that my better? No. No, you're like, you got to slow down. So I learned to slow down. When I went out and wrote $50,000 in business my first month, it's because I just did what they told me to do. I cheated. How many of you guys ever cheated before? Come on, raise your hand. Those that aren't raising your hands, you guys are liars and cheaters. Now we know who you are, right? We've all cheated before, and success is nothing more than finding somebody, write this down, find someone who has what you want. Do what they do, and imagine this, you'll get what they have. I don't care if it's your personal relationship, your spiritual relationship. I don't care if it's playing golf. If you find someone who has what you want and you're willing to just do what they tell you to do. Where's his notes, right? He told you exactly what he did to have the success he had and to have 1,500 active writing agents generating over $100 million in annual premium volume in a year. He told you what to do. You know what the challenge is? Most people aren't going to do it, are they? Guys, I'm telling you, success is not complicated if you just do. And so Cody said, listen, can you teach them what it is you taught your new agent, Josh Wiles, to do to have that success? I said, probably not in 20 minutes. And you know what? I know what I teach, but I don't really know what my agents learn from what I teach. Does that make sense? So I picked up the phone, I called Josh. I go, Josh, what is it that I taught you or helped you the most to go out and write that amount of volume so quickly? And I got the answers back. How many want to hear the answers? Say, are you willing to check with your agents to hold you accountable? What are you learning from me? How can I become a better leader? What can I do that's helping your business? Or what have I done to hurt your business? That feedback is invaluable. And it's amazing the things that I learned that I wouldn't even think that were the most important things that he got to have success. And guess what? Not one time do you say, was that script you wrote me? Didn't say that. He didn't say it was an hour and a half on the phone that you spent with me going over how to make a call, because I didn't do that. He said, the first thing you taught me is that you got to invest. You got to invest in your business, and you have to invest time and money. And see, in this business, you have the availability. We all have time, don't we? So if you don't have any money, you're going to invest a lot more time. We have the ability to buy leads in most of the industries that you guys are in. And if you have the ability to buy leads, guess what? I can take this money and put it into action so I spend less time trying to find qualified prospects. So if I buy 10 leads, I've took 10 times my time and diminished it to where I can spend 10 times less time working trying to get a hold of qualified prospects. And so if I want to do it by 20 times, what do? Buy 20 leads. John just talked about it. I remember calling Josh. He's like, okay, great. What do I need to do? And I said, man, I wrote $15,000 my first week. I know you can write 20. Because we're in a virtual world. I was driving around. I can show you how. He goes, great, what do I need to do? I said, you got to get enough leads. I said, there's only two things you're going to do. You either have time, you're going to spend calling old leads, prospecting old leads, going through referrals, whatever it is, or you can spend money. And he goes, Nate, I just lost my other business. I was making 20 grand a month. And I'm getting about $800 a week. I won't have any money till Wednesday. I go, how much is coming? He goes, $800. He goes, okay. I go, you need to find $200 more. Oh, so I need to find $200 to buy $200 in leads? I said, no, you got to find $200 more so you can buy $1,000 in leads. He goes, that's my rent money. I said, I know. And that's going to drive you to make this thing work, isn't it? I said, if you just pay attention to what I was taught and you do what I tell you to do, we can take that $1,000 and we can turn it into a minimum of 4 or 5. He took that $1,000 and turned it into over, I think it's $26,000 been deposited in his bank account in the last 10 days. Those results may vary. That's not typical of an insurance agent. But he's not typical because he was paying attention. So you got to invest time and money, right? Starks talked about this, immersion. He said, you taught me that I got to be immersed in this business for 90 days. When I got involved in this business, guys, I was an avid sports fan like John Wetmore was. Guess what? TV wasn't on. I wasn't watching sports. I wasn't playing golf. Some of you guys might have to miss your bowling night with your buddies or your card night. You got to have total immersion. I'll tell you why. My wife is from Mexico. How many of you met my wife, right? You know who she is, right? And I don't speak Mexican. Does that make sense? I know it's Spanish, but I don't speak Spanish either, right? And so I took 4 years of it. I took 4 years of Spanish, and I can't even hold a conversation with my own wife. I have a buddy of mine went to Mexico, lived there for 6 months. He came back. He's completely bilingual. So was it the amount of time invested to me to learn Spanish, or was the fact that he was totally immersed in it and he had no other choice? So now I learned a skill. And I went to the point where I got like that Duolingo app, you guys know what I'm talking about, where there's a little app you have and it teaches you, right? So I got that app and I'm studying 10 minutes a day. I'm putting the timer on every day, study. And I was so proud of myself because I figured out how to piece a sentence together. And I went down the kitchen. I don't know what I said, but I was like, sweetheart, blah, 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 blah. She looks at me and she starts laughing. And I'm like, what are you laughing at? She goes, what are you doing? I said, I learned Spanish, babe. She goes, why are you trying to learn Spanish? I want to be able to communicate with you. She goes, I don't want you to learn Spanish. I go, why not? She goes, because that's the only time I get to talk without you interrupting me. So I think the positive note on that is I saved $4.99 because the Duolingo app is out the window, right? So you got to immerse yourself. You get to have full immersion, right? Sense of urgency. He said, you taught me to have a sense of urgency. How many have a sense of urgency here in your business? How many have a sense of urgency in your business? Without a sense of urgency, desire loses value. See, the goal I told Josh is you got to create a story. You got to have a story, an impactful story, and you can get that story. And some of you guys go, well, Nate, I've been doing this for a year. I don't have a story. My story sucks. I've been doing this for 6 months. My story sucks. I've been doing it for 5 years. My story sucks. You know what's awesome thing about a story? Today can be the beginning of your story. You can say, I got involved in the insurance industry and I failed miserably and I was watching people have success all around me and I was trying to do everything they did. And I attended a virtual event where it was called Breakthrough 2022 and I invested 9 hours of my day, 9 hours of my life, and I heard from the top people in this industry how to go out and have success. And the moment I got from that thing, I applied what they did and boom, here's what happened to my business and now you got a story. Who wants to create a story? There's urgency to your story. You got to overbook your schedule. God forbid. You got to turn the TV off. The Price is Right was the theme today, I guess. I never watched The Price is Right. But you got to immerse yourself in it for the next 90 days, and you got to create a story because that story is what's going to have the impact. Fourth, he said, you taught me about habits. You have to develop successful habits immediately. The habits you develop now when you start your business will ultimately determine the success or failure you have in your journey in this business. I promise you that. The chains of habit are too weak to be felt until they're too strong to be broken. The chains of habit are too weak to be felt until they're too strong to be broken. And I remember we have a thing where when you write a business, it goes into a spreadsheet, and then the spreadsheet, we have to go in and upload it into our company's CRM. And I was teaching them, I said, listen, you do it immediately. You don't wait. As soon as you write that app, you hang up that phone, you don't go to the bathroom, you don't get something to eat, you don't get a snack, you don't go kiss your wife. You take it and you put it in your new business tracking sheet so you can track your business. And I have a shared Google Doc with all my new agents, and I was looking at it, and I noticed there was an app that I knew he wrote, because I got an email from the carrier, and it wasn't in his new business tracking sheet. It was 9:30 at night. Call him up, he goes, Josh, what's up? He goes, hey man, how you doing? I go, why is that thing not in your new business sheet? He's like, oh man, I'm just gonna do it tomorrow. I said, tomorrow? When did I tell you to do it? He said, we told me to do it immediately. I'm in bed watching. I said, get out of bed, go put it in there. And he did. Because I said the chains of habit are too weak to be felt until they're too strong. Because if you're not gonna do it now when you're new, you ain't gonna do it in 6 months, you ain't gonna do it in 12 months, you aren't gonna do it in 2 years. So whatever successful habits you got to develop in your business, your mentor is telling you to do it, make sure they are non-negotiable habits and you do it and do it and do it until it becomes second nature and you don't have to quit worrying about it and you can focus on how to make more income. Does that make sense? You got to develop habits. Sell on value, not price, he said I taught him. I see so many people selling on price. I don't get it. I sell on value, not price. I sell concepts, not products. See, every individual, whatever business that you're in, a PNC or you're doing health, you have a value that you're bringing to them. If people bought on price, all of you guys would have woke up and started your Kia this morning. Because that Kia gets you from point A to point B, but there's very few people who own a Kia, and it's one of the cheapest cars out there, isn't it? So why you keep selling Kias when people want to drive a Mercedes? I don't understand. He was selling Mercedes. He was selling value to the client because people will pay what they value. How many have things that you pay that you can find somewhere else cheaper, but you had a value of it and you're willing to spend the money? Are you selling yourself as bringing value? Are you valuable? Is your product valuable? Is that in your mind when you sit down and sell with someone? And he said one of the things else you taught me, Nate, was to master the mundane. This is a tough one. I can't spell mundane, so I wrote it really scribbly so it looks like I can. Master the mundane. Repetition is the mother of skill. How many heard that before? And necessity is the handmaiden of action. See, action produces results almost always out of necessity. But you say, Nate, I don't understand, I'm broke. Good, because that's going to drive you. Desperation is a great place to be at if you focus that energy in the right direction. Marlon Faulkner was desperate in his life. Marlon Faulkner had necessity that he had to make this thing work. He had no other options. Josh Wiles took his rent money and his food to put his family, and he had to make it work. Are you putting yourself in a situation where you're desperate to have success? Where it's no longer a want to, it's a necessity that you have to. And I challenge you right now, most of you aren't, and that's why you're not having the success that you want to have. And John, I'm so glad I went after you. He said if your child was missing and you had to get 3 years, he created that desperation. I don't care. You're not going checking your Facebook when your kid's missing. When you got a stack of people you got to call, and your job's to call every one of them before you get your kid back. Nothing else matters. Eating doesn't matter. TV doesn't matter. Your foot itches, it doesn't matter. You have to go to the bathroom, it doesn't matter. You are desperate. Are you guys in a situation where you're creating desperation in your business? See, guys, here's the thing. A leader's job is not to teach your agent on how to do this business. That's the systems and the resources and everything that your company has put together. A leader's job is to inject so much confidence into that agent that they don't believe that they can fail. And so one of the things he came back, he said, you gave me so much confidence that I could do this even when I was doubting myself, that I didn't believe I could fail. Are you that person to your agent? Or are you spending 4 hours trying to teach them everything about the business that the systems and resources can teach them? Are you their champion? Are you in their corner? Are you that mom or dad going, great, you're walking, that's awesome, because they need it. I needed it. Edward Pritchett was that to me. Matt and Brad was that to me. I was new in a business. It doesn't matter about my past. I was scared. I was new. My ego was on the line. And I needed to have champions. The most impactful thing, they were my champion. I'd call Brad when I was done an appointment, and he'd be like, I wrote 3 asks for 48. He goes, whoa, that's awesome. Let me get Matt on the phone. And Matt jumps on the phone and he goes, wow, are you serious? You wrote 4,700? And the next thing, Edward texts me, good job, sir. Are you doing that for your agents? He said that was the most important thing. And I didn't even know it as a leader. And guess what? I do a bad job of that with a lot of people. Josh taught me that, wow, the thing that I thought was the most insignificant was the most significant to him. And now I get to become a better leader. Because now I know, guess what? You got to be people's champion. It was funny because there's this store owner. His dog had a litter of puppies. And he put a sign in the window. You know, the one that attracts the kids, puppies for sale. This little kid's walking by, sees the sign, goes into the store, and he goes, sir, how much are you selling the puppies for? He goes, well, I don't know, about around $30, $50 a puppy. The little boy reaches in his pocket, grabs this wrinkled up 2 little dollar bills and 37 cents. Can you imagine? He looks up at the store owner and goes, all I have is $2.37. Can I look at the puppies? The store owner smiled, turned around, whistled for the dog. The mother dog came out, and 5 little puffs of fur ball are coming behind. You guys ever see little puppies, right? They're so cute. And there's one puppy in the back, and he's just hobbling along. Can't keep up with the rest of the puppies. He's limping. And the boy turns around and goes, what's wrong with that puppy right there? He goes, oh, that puppy was born without a hip socket. That puppy's going to be lame the rest of his life. And the little boy goes, that's what I want. And the owner goes, no, you don't. You don't want that puppy. He says, I'd give that puppy to you for free. And he got mad. He looked up at the owner and he said, I don't want it for free. That puppy's worth just as much as every one of that other puppy, and I want to pay full price. I'll give you that $2.37 right now and 50 cents every single month until it's paid off, because that's the puppy I want. And he turned around and he goes, son, you really don't want that puppy. It's never going to be able to jump and play and run like the other puppies. The little kid pulls his pant leg up. Underneath his pant leg, there's this crippled leg in a metal brace. And he looks up and he goes, I'm never going to be able to run and jump and play like all the other kids. And one day that puppy's going to need somebody who understands. And I want everybody that spoke today to come up on the stage here for a minute. You don't have to clap, just come on up. Because the people that you guys heard from today, they understand. The crew that poured into you today, they're beaten, they're bruised, they're battered. They understand. All these people that were from different industries with no value, for most people on this phone, no intrinsic financial value other than they're going up, guess what? Look at my leg. I understand. We understand where you're at. We understand the pitfalls. We understand the obstacles you're going to go through. And we all know that one day you're going to need someone who understands. So instead of looking at your failures, instead of looking at your setbacks, instead of looking at all the obstacles you have in your life and you're broke and not making money, guess what? One day you're going to turn around and you're going to have an agent that's going to need somebody that understands. So please give everyone a round of applause. What an awesome day. And I'd like to bring out Cody Askins.
I thought I was a mediocre insurance sales guy. And because I was challenged and there was a spark on my second phone call, was able to rock a presentation, have the confidence to take over the world, and realize, you know what? I'm going to build a massive call center. Like,